Twitter isn't the only way the church is embracing new technology. There are now virtual churches.
iChurch is an online church and it's run by the Diocese of Oxford. We hold services in our chat room and we do that on a Wednesday evening. We've found by trial and error that people don't tend to want to use it on a Sunday as much. So we do have a short service on a Sunday, but the main one is on a Wednesday evening, British time. And people log into the chat room and then the leader will type the prayers or whatever, and if it's a joining in prayer you type the responses. And we also will link to YouTubes which we can show in the chat room, or we'll bring in other material that we want to share by putting a link in. So it's quite interactive, it's very, very interactive.
As the church is virtual, the congregation come from far and wide.
We have people, quite a few in England. We have people from America. We have a pastor in America who's been part of iChurch from the very beginning. We've got somebody right up in the north of Scotland who can't get to local church very easily, and so they find it very useful to come to prayers with other people. We've got one member who's in a very, very quiet rural area and wants to go to their local church but doesn't find that there's the range of activities like Bible studies and things. And so she finds that by coming with iChurch as well, she can kind of add to her Christian experience, so she's still able to be a member of her local church, which is very, very important to her. So I would hope that people will look at iChurch and other online communities and say not, oh dear, you know, this is something we have to fight, because it's competing with real church. I would hope that people are able to look at it as something that God's doing for the church and that they can benefit from and learn from.
Another example of how the church is connecting with people in new ways is Messy Church. It's the brainchild of Lucy Moore.
Messy Church is a way of doing church for families, and it invites families to come together to church and have a great time for 2 hours usually. The format is usually a warm welcome and then about an hour of having fun together, making stuff that explores the Bible story. And then we bring it all together in a quarter of an hour celebration with story, song and prayer. And then we have a sit-down meal together. With Messy Church, one of the things was, let's make it easy for people. Let's have it at a time which suits them. Let's do it in a way that suits them and see where that takes us.
In a short space of time, Messy Church has gone global. There are now 1,400 worldwide.
The whole Messy Church network is fed from a lot of different backgrounds. So it's not just something that is fed from a suburban church just outside Portsmouth. It's getting ideas and attitudes and inspiration from, churches in Melbourne and churches in Wellington in New Zealand, and the Danish church has taken it on hugely. All these ideas and understandings of God feed in to make it a very rich mix.
And why is it called Messy Church?
Because I think God works with people in a messy way, that we sometimes have the feeling that it's all got to be cut and dried and neat and tidy, and we have to have all the answers sorted before we come anywhere near him. And for most of us, it's a much messier journey. We come near him and then we go further away, and we have questions and doubts. And we also lead very messy lives. And perhaps the church in the past has projected a little bit too much, that you have to be neat and tidy and put on your best clothes to come to church. And what we're trying to say to everybody is, look, however messy your life is, you can come and be messy with us, because we're messy too.
God sees you. He knows where you are. You are not forgotten, no. God knows you. He chose you. You're spoken of in heaven. Only God can see inside every human heart. Only God really knows you. And God made you. He loves you as you are. You are not just a face in a crowd. God hears you. He's near you, and He's closer than you think. Only God can see inside every human heart. Only God really knows you. And only God, He truly understands the issues of the heart. Only God, only God. You are God's masterpiece. When will you realize that it's true? There is a God who cares, a God who loves, a God who sees. everything.